we're back. You are listening to IBGR.network. IBGR is a call sign as a radio station, but we are more than a radio station. We are a network. And at least 133 countries already. I am your show host, Jan Robberts, Global Influencer. This is episode number 2 already, and session number 3. If you've missed it so far, we are talking about a professional image for impact in our P1 people lane. People skills for success at IBGR.network. And what we're already talking about is the different areas we need to look into about being professional. And what I'm going to cover now is the 5 qualities of a professional. Now, these top 5 qualities that lead to high job performance is very important. But of course, whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you work in a job, all these kind of things are important. And the first one is the ability to learn. See, every organization has a specific set of knowledge that every employee will need to acquire to be successful at their job. It makes sense. Now, and these kind of things we need to stay with it all the time, and there's updates, and in this day and age, it is so much changing so quickly that the actual skills, the technical skills, are also very important. But to be part of the company culture, or if you are an entrepreneur, you need to know what is required in your area of expertise, in your area of development, in your area that you offer a service. What do you need to learn? What do you need to keep up with? And you need to keep up because there is so many companies that decided not to keep up. Kodak and many other countries Kodak wasn't even a country, okay. Many other companies that really paid the price dearly for not keeping up with technology and the changes and all that kind of stuff. But it is one of those qualities. The second one is conscientiousness. I'm going to say that again. Conscientiousness is a personality trait encompassing many characteristics desirable to an organization. And again, near the end, I'm going to talk about the various characteristics of a professional. So I don't really want to take too much time on that just now. But interpersonal skills, also very important. It's a whole subject all by itself. But we cover a lot of the people skills here in the next session. So if you're here new first time, welcome. And if you're a returning listener, welcome back. But, there is a lot of this stuff going on in the next 10, 11, 12 sessions as well. So stay with us and share this with your friends and bring them on board. We'd love to have them here. Adaptability. As I said already, things are changing so fast. If we don't adapt, it was a story about these dinosaurs. I was thinking these big animals, dinosaurs and a mouse. And they've both been about for many years, but the dinosaurs clearly could not adapt. And they have disappeared, unless you see some of these films, Jurassic Park and all that. But they have clearly disappeared, and there is many companies, I already mentioned some, that have disappeared because they didn't adapt. And another very important thing of one of the top qualities of a professional is integrity. I'm going to talk into that in the characteristics near the end. Then we have maintaining a professional image online. Now, this is a wonderful subject because when you are presenting online, maintaining your audience's attention presents a unique set of challenges. What often works in an in-person presentation, if we can't keep their attention, we go faster, bigger, louder. But it doesn't always translate to a virtual audience where the name of the game is engagement. So, and I hope I'm still engaging you here. I'm doing this here without you seeing me, but there is a certain amount of things that you need to do to maintain that image as well online. Building your own branding. Create a profile on professional networks, such as LinkedIn is where many professionals gather. Now, do not mix business and personal matters. Usually, try to keep them separate unless they are very closely connected. The third one is do not post negative comments. I already told you about that lady that got fired a week after getting a position because of something she did 2 years before that. Now, that doesn't mean you can't comment on people and speak your truth, but there is a way to be respectful in your comments at least. And keep inappropriate photos to yourself. I mean, that goes without saying. when we're talking professional, LinkedIn is certainly a no-go. But I mean, there is people will research you. So I mean, I leave that up to yourself. And limit your posts during working hours. Some people might now start to laugh, and I found something very interesting. When what else are employees doing during a conference call? Now get this. 65% are doing other work, 63% are sending emails, 55% are eating or making food, 47% are going to the restroom. That's something else. Make sure when you go somewhere like that you switch your microphone off at least. Texting, 44%, checking social media, 43%, playing video games. Now this is a conference call I'm talking about. They're playing video games, 25%, online shopping, 21%, exercising, 9%, or take 9%. I sounded a bit like Sean Connery there, 9%. And taking another phone call, 6%. But you get a picture that many people do different things. Now, I always, when I do a presentation training, which I do for corporates as well as individuals, depending on what they need, but and I always ask them, keep your cameras on, because it is so much better to see a face and to see the interaction and to look at them to see if I'm still engaging them. But there is a whole thing about it, and I could talk about it much longer, but from those stats, I suppose it's pretty clear that understanding how to keep your audience engaged and working with the challenges of medium and the technology requires some strategic but necessary adjustment to the presenter, but also for those attending the online presentation. That could be you. And that often comes down to professionalism. Now, respect and integrity are a big part of that equation, I believe. And I hope that makes sense. So, why is it important to act professionally? Well, a professional workplace attitude and appearance allows employees to take pride in their work and improve worker performance. And these managers, as I said already, they set a good example. And because people do as you do, not necessarily what they say. We have great examples in our own families, but it is that kind of stuff. So you need to be, we always talk about be the change you want to see in the world. Well, this is one of those kind of simple things that you can be that change. Make sure that if you want other people to act a certain way, to be professional, that you also need to be professional at all times with them, and also when you think they're not watching. Very important. Then we have the next point is the importance of professionalism in business. Well, it is simple. Professional workplace behavior is necessary for the long-term success of a business, whether it is a big corporation or a small business. Employee interactions and relationships with customers are of vital importance to ensure that company goals and objectives are met. See, a professional workplace attitude and appearance allow employees to take pride in their work and improve worker performance. And of course, they're setting the example company-wide. And I'll go through 5 of these reasons why it is that important. And the first one is establishing appropriate boundaries. The value of boundaries is amazing as well, but professionalism in a workplace establishes boundaries between what is considered appropriate office behavior, and that sometimes leaves a lot to be desired, and what is not. So while most managers support an enjoyable and vibrant work environment, limits must be put in place to avoid conflict and misunderstandings. Workers who conduct themselves professionally steer clear of crossing the line with their conversations and other interactions with co-workers, superiors and clients. And again, I'll talk a little bit more into it in culturally awareness as well, and the diversity of people as well. What we think might be funny is not always funny to other people on a cultural level, and many others indeed. So I hope that makes sense as well. Then secondly, encourage personal improvement. See, the professional behavior, because a business environment in which employees dress and operate professionally is much more conducive for success. For example, professional dress codes are understood to support career development and professional growth in the workplace. That's because workers who dress and act professionally feel better about themselves and are encouraged to perform better for their clients. And I know, sometimes we have dress down Fridays, which at the end of the week you can dress in any way, but still respectfully, of course, but you're not in your swimming shorts or whatever. But it is you get the idea there that it is better for you, and as an entrepreneur as well, it's better for you. And I get this, that if you're having a building business, you don't have to wear a 3-piece suit unless you go to the bank manager. You don't walk in there with your muddy boots and a coverall that's full of dust and whatever. So it's appropriate at different times and different meetings as well, of course. But it promotes also and maintains accountability. See, companies that interact directly with clients are obligated to provide the best services possible and present their companies in the best possible light. And that is for you. You are the company owner, you are that person, so it speaks to entrepreneurs as well, of course. Professionalism counts when providing written information to clients. Professional written company reports, business plans and other correspondence helps businesses remain accountable with their level of service. So even in the way you write, it is important. Then we have the impressions given and the paperwork submitted is important in enforcing the right impression about your business. So even what you present in a paper manner. Now, the fourth one is professionalism in business establishes respect for authority figures, clients and co-workers. Maintaining a professional demeanor limits gossips and inappropriate personal conversations that could be considered disrespectful. So keeping a professional attitude with clients who behave inappropriately demonstrates the level of respect from your side as an employee, as a business owner, and for the customer in a business partnership. I hope that makes sense. And finally, it boosts respect and minimizes conflict. So conflict is less likely to arise in a professional business environment. So workers who respect each other, boundaries, and conduct themselves professionally rarely have disagreements. And that again talks into the business people and their backgrounds. So we are now going to take another 2 to 3 minute break. When we return, we will be talking about some more of these points and what it takes to be professional and your professional image. Join us, become a member of our Insiders Network by going to our website and click the Join Us link and connect and interact with us on social media. That is Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram and Twitter at IBGR Network. And I see you when we come back.